Next on DJ Reels You In.
Ask you about that?
Yeah, sure, because that's where I was. I had deployed for him in Phoenix. His headquarters is in Phoenix, and we went out and knocked on doors. Utah Valley and also to Utah State, and I got really thrilled. I was going to go to both of them. And then some asshole shoots him dead, shoots him in the head, and I went nuts, okay? I jumped up and I go, shoot me, shoot me. You know?
What? Do not know what I just listened to, but I think this changes everything when it comes to the Charlie Kirk assassination. I recently ran across this shocking X-post, and it was basically with George Zinn. If y'all know who George Zinn is the guy that stood up after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was screaming, "Oh, I did it, blah, blah, blah," telling police to shoot him, and his pants are falling, and people in the crowd were probably going to eat him alive if they got their hands on him, right? And I did a little research into George recently, and because it's very strange that, because everybody kept saying this guy was at 9/11, this guy was this, and you go listen to the 9/11 story, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. The 9/11 story is weird because he was never at 9/11. Wow, at like the Denver Bronco football game at the brand new stadium or something like that. Okay, it's been a while since I listened to it. Don't quote me on that. But from what I listened to, he was not at 9/11. He said he was shocked by what was happening.
I was in Denver just on September 10th, 2001, and I'm a huge Broncos fan, so I was. It was the opening night of Denver Broncos Stadium. I went down there, and we were playing the Giants that night, 9/12 or something like that. That second plane hit that tower. Immediately chaos in that hotel lobby. There was everybody was on cell phones. People.
All right, begin. Now I went back and I actually found this article, and this article is from the Salt Lake Tribune, August 30th, 2012. And this article kind of gives you a little bit of a history when it comes to George Zinn. It says Zinn is a Republican supporter who never held a position in the party, has no visible means of support, wears faded jeans, work shirts, tennis shoes to fancy events, but always mysteriously shows up to anything the Utah Republican Party is involved with, including the national conventions, although nobody knows how he manages to get there. In many ways, he has become an unofficial mascot of the Utah Republican. In 1988, as the story goes, Zinn appeared at the Republican National Convention in New Orleans, but had no place to stay. So T.H. Bell, the Utahnian who was Ronald Reagan's Secretary of Education, let him sleep on a cot in his room. I don't know about you, but like, that is not something you do with just regular people. Not unless it appears like George Zinn is just some hang around. But when George Zinn showed up at the airport in Hilton in Tampa to hang around with the Republican delegation and seek help getting into their various events, hotel security would have nothing to do with it. Once they realized Zinn was not officially a member of the delegation or a guest of the hotel, he was forced to leave. Yeah, so this is just a little article right here on George Zinn, and it just kind of proves like the weirdness with this guy, like just this part right here. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't have time to be going around national conventions and following politicians, and I definitely don't like, how does George Zinn get the funding for this? Right? Doesn't make sense. Continue. Running around with Utah Republicans, like senators and stuff, and they would have like national conventions, like the one they'd had in like New Orleans. And somehow George Zinn pops up, gets a little weird with one of the female guests, and ends up having to stay with a senator at his hotel room. He like crashed on the couch. It's very strange stuff. And he's like, he was arrested for calling him like a fake bomb threat. This guy is just, I don't know if this is just like the local like nutbag. This is always around everything, but listen to this phone call. Okay, it says, exclusive, George Zinn, Charlie Kirk assassination decoy, says he worked for TPUSA. In a jail interview, George Zinn told me he worked for TPUSA in 2024 in a door knock for Trump in Phoenix. Zinn told me that he is not paid to cause a distraction. on the day of the assassination, and that he had some kind of traumatic reaction that caused him to take credit and ask police to shoot him. This right here, and the source of this obviously comes from Dillinger right here. Shout out to him. Go give him a follow. This is insane. I hope he can let me listen to it. I hope we can listen to this. This is crazy.
Can I ask you about the day that you went to the Charlie Kirk thing, or no at all?
Well, it was September, I believe September 10th
Yes, sir.
of last year, down at the UVU.
Yes, sir. Is it okay if I ask?
Go ahead.
Is it okay if I ask you about that?
Yeah, sure, because that's where I was. I had deployed for him in Phoenix. His headquarters is in Phoenix, and we went out and knocked on doors.
He knocked on...
And it was to just get votes for Trump, okay? And he paid our way. He paid pages for our houses in Phoenix, and we went out and knocked on doors. And it was to just get votes for Trump, okay? And he paid our way. He paid pages for our hotel and everything like that, and we had fun going in the neighborhood.
When was that?
And I really liked his organization. And so when they did their tour and they came to Colorado, I kept calling him up in Phoenix and saying, bring him to Utah, bring him to Utah. Then I found out he was going to Utah Valley and also to Utah State, and I got really thrilled. Pages for our hotel and everything like that, and we had fun going in the neighborhood.
When was that?
And I really liked his organization. And so when they did their tour and they came to Colorado, I kept calling him up in Phoenix and saying, bring him to Utah, bring him to Utah, you know. Then I found out he was going to Utah Valley and also to Utah State, and I got really thrilled. I was going to go to both of them. And then some asshole shoots him dead, shoots him in the head, and I went nuts, okay? I jumped up and I go, shoot me, you know.
What? What? So you really enjoyed him. You worked for him. A dude that had kitty stuff all over his phone, okay? But when he dies in front of you, you stand up and, oh.
You know? And
I'm not
I
silent
don't know what
to you.
happened. I just, it was a terrible reaction when I saw him. And I think I seriously thought I would have taken the bullets for Charlie at that day, you know? Because it was that traumatic. And so, you know,
Yeah. When you're in the movie theater and an active shooter comes in and the police get done, you know, just stand up and be like, oh, I got a gun right here. Ah! Yeah, that's a total normal reaction.
the
Sure.
FBI takes me aside and starts giving me,
I wonder who's on the other side of the phone.
interrogate me, give me all these questions and all this, you know. And it just turned into a big mess, you know. I ended up getting arrested for it, and plus that the child images that they found on my phone.
When you were at the hospital, it was reported that you said somebody told you that they paid you to cause a scene after he was shot. Is that true?
No, for heaven's sakes, no. See, and that's that's just crap that's going on. This was just the triggered reactions. Excuse the pun, you know.
Yeah.
It was just a reaction because I didn't expect to see him shot in front of me like that.
Totally normal.
And I just went nuts. I think I had him.
All the stuff on his phone, he told on himself. That makes a lot of sense.
Medical issue.
This guy to me sounds like a dumb decoy, a useful idiot. That's what it sounds like to me. A person that they would know would have something like that on his phone.
I have a heart problem, and I think I had a stroke or something.
Oh yeah.
We got 3 minutes.
Let's call Don Lemon. We'll get the Don on it.
Well,
No.
that would be a big one, because if someone had put you up,
I'm surprised Don Lemon didn't go into Charlie Kirk's funeral, you know, trying to ask questions.
to it,
My First Amendment right.
and then was you
Shout
know,
out to Dirty Dub.
like maybe threatening you with jail or the kiddie porn stuff or whatever?
No, heaven's sakes, no. I could have run with the crowd and nothing would have happened, okay? It was my own reaction. I didn't expect anything. I didn't expect that to happen.
So this is just completely random. This
Right.
is
I
random.
didn't know anything about this was going to happen. I thought he was spending too long bashing the church. He spent like 20 minutes bashing the church, and I kept yelling out, Charlie, we're not here to bash a church. You know, he went on about the Mormons.
And then I stood up and said, I did it!
For about 20 minutes.
Well, you
I'm
said,
going, you know,
how long?
what's that?
When did you say you worked for them?
Beautiful job with this interviewer, just letting this guy just completely say nonsense.
You said that you door knocked. How long ago was
The
that?
year before, we went to Phoenix, and he paid his organization, Turning Point, paid our way, and we went down and knocked on doors for Trump.
Okay.
In the neighborhood.
Okay, well, you said we're almost out of time. Is it okay?
Yeah.
When can you have a call again?
Well, right now I'm on suicide watch, and so I don't have access to my tablet. I'm using their phone.
Okay.
As soon as I get off suicide watch, we'll be able to talk as long as I want.
Okay.
Sure.
And you're on watch because of why? Because as a person, you know, with a little bit of LEO experience, I would say that is, it's not normal. None of this is normal. You got this old gentleman right here. It's been connected to Utah politics for 30-something years, running around with politicians, acting weird, always around, lying. Don't want to, make any other accusations, but this is very interesting.
But I'm going to be probably going to prison by Wednesday, maybe. So my world's going to change really fast.
Well, I'll try to schedule another call tomorrow or Tuesday then.
Yeah.
What kids were this guy? Who's bringing their kids around this guy? What kids is this guy associated with? To have it on his phone. I know it's accessible for the most part, but is it though? For someone of this age with a pocket protector and no belt, and his reaction to when Charlie Kirk dies is to stand up and say, I did it! Shoot me! Yeah, that's not, none of this is normal. Okay? It's not normal. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Comment below. Subscribe. Share the video. And yeah. I've stayed away from this Charlie Kirk stuff because it's been a little while. But this is one of the biggest things I've heard so far. This guy's saying he worked for TPUSA. And okay. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I am.